Good morning, crypto Twitter, it's Misty Crypto, spreading crypto without them showing its benefits. To my generation, shout out to all my people. Gen Z needs to be included, it's really that simple. We are savage, amazed, boss, SD, making money at the same time, spread peace. I feel empty if you don't include Gen Z. About to change the world, so y'all better get ready. Misty Crypto, I'm never backing down. I got a wax account, you should check it out. So many NFTs, I think I lost count, and I'm only getting started. Yeah, barely off the ground. Misty Crypto, you cannot stop me. My hands are made from diamond, your hands fall like origami. Never be the boss of me. Bitcoin's all I need. When I say I'm zesty, that's just me talking honestly. Crypto and yum farm marketplace. I wanna see the more. We gotta go through cyberspace. Leave this world without a trace. Save a for a different day, 'cause we partners in the cryptos didn't stay.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Misty Crypto Show. I hope everybody tuning in is having a lovely day so far. I know I'm feeling the zest, I'm feeling the spice. If you guys are new to the channel, how are you? My name is Misty Crypto and welcome to the Misty Crypto Show. Please smash the like, subscribe, and share out this stream if you are feeling the zest. Let me know if you guys are feeling the zest in the chat. Drop those 100 emojis. Thank you to everyone who's popping out today. Before we jump into the Misty Crypto Show, as always, I'm going to give a shout out to 3 amazing sponsors of the show. Firstly, Wax Blockchain, killing the game. Blockchain Brawlers is popping. They have a new game out and new packs dropping, so look into that. If you guys are looking to trade and earn some really cool Wax NFTs, niftyblocks.com is the spot. All these links are in the live chat and in the description. Lastly, Ballet, absolutely killing the game. Love their wallet. Been using it for, 3 years now? A century in crypto. Throughout the show, Charlie will drop a key phrase or word in the chat for you guys to enter in the chat in order to win a Ballet wallet. The winner will DM me on Twitter with their email address, and I'll hook you up with the team. Now, let's jump into the show. Free NFTs will be being dropped throughout the show. Please, again, don't forget to smash the like. Well, welcome to the show, Charlie Lee. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
I'm really excited to talk with you today. So much has been going on. I mean, Litecoin is just making moves on moves on moves with MWEB and all the things that you guys have really been working on. So I'm excited to have you here, discuss this more. Before, we really jump into, MWEB and everything like that, do you mind just giving a little bit of a summary of Litecoin for people who may be new to Litecoin?
Sure. So Litecoin's been around for a little over 10.5 years. It was launched in October of 2011, and as a alternative to Bitcoin, a light version of Bitcoin. The difference between Litecoin and Bitcoin, it has faster block times, so 2.5 minutes versus 10. It uses a different mining algorithm. The mining algorithm is called Script instead of SHA-256D for Bitcoin. So it doesn't compete with Bitcoin for mining hash power. It has its own mining network, and it's dominant in its own mining network. It's fast, and recently we added better fungibility and privacy to Litecoin via the MWEB upgrade.
And basically, what is MWEB as a whole? What is MWEB for people that are first hearing about it?
So the general idea is Bitcoin and Litecoin lacks fungibility, which means that every coin you send out, there's history attached to it. So people can see not only history, but they can also see how many coins you have, right? So if you bought 100 Litecoins from an exchange, and then you send one to a friend or to buy something, the recipient can see that you have 100 Litecoins and can possibly even track more than that, right? So that reduces it makes Litecoin not very good money, because when you're spending money, you want financial privacy, right? When you're spending cash, no one knows how much you have in your bank account. So what we did with Litecoin was add a feature called MWEB, which stands for MWEB extension block. So MWEB is a technology that lets you do transactions, but without showing the amount that you're sending. So all the amounts are hidden from everyone else except for you, the sender, and the recipient.
Wow.
And it also has scaling benefits. So for most privacy fungibility technology, the trade-offs are that the transactions are a lot larger, like 20 times larger sometimes.
Wow.
And slower to create. So that makes blockchain less decentralized if it makes blocks 20 times larger. Right. So with MWEB, it has the added benefit of being more scalable. So it makes it not as unwieldy as normal other privacy technologies like Zcash
Yes.
and Monero.
So when you're using MWEB, what's being hidden is the amount of Litecoin, but on chain you could see the MWEB addresses interacting with one another.
On chain, what you see is a bunch of inputs and a bunch of outputs. So every block is kind of like an aggregation of all the transactions. So one block, you just see inputs and outputs.
Got it.
Yeah, and the amounts are hidden with confidential transaction.
Perfect. And how was, MWEB really thought about, like brought up? Why did you feel like this was really important to implement onto Litecoin?
Well, fungibility is a very important feature of good sound money.
Exactly.
Right? So it's one of the only features that's missing from Bitcoin and Litecoin. So I wanted to do something about that. And MWEB seemed to be a good trade-off in terms of fungibility and scalability. It's not perfect in terms of privacy, and that's not the goal. The goal is just to be private enough so that it's fungible and people will have financial privacy, right? So it's good enough so that when you're sending Litecoins, the recipient won't easily be able to see how many coins you have, and you have some comfort to sending coins without worrying about that.
Exactly. You need financial privacy. It's a scary thought that even doing a simple transaction such as buying a coffee, that they could, if you're using something like Bitcoin or Litecoin, that they could see all the history that you have and everything that you hold. So MWEB is extremely crucial, especially in countries where it might be a little hard to transact at the moment. I feel like that's where MWEB is going to play a huge role. And, this hasn't come out of nowhere, which is something I really want to stress to people. MWEB has been a work in progress. How long has it taken to get MWEB to this point and finally released?
Well, MWEB is based off of MWEB, which has been around for a while, and it's used in a few coins, including Grin and Beam. So the technology has been around for a while. It's a very cool technology that was introduced a few years ago, and so we started working on MWEB about a little bit more than 2 years ago.
Wow.
So I've been thinking about this for a while, right? Ever since we activated SegWit on Litecoin, I've been thinking about what else can we do to improve Litecoin, right? And the thing that came up was making it more fungible. So I've been thinking about how to do that via confidential transaction, which is hiding the transaction amount, and technologies such as MWEB, Zcash, ring signatures from Monero, stuff like that. So I've been thinking about that for a while and ended up deciding to go with the MWEB route using extension blocks.
And do you mind shouting out the people who played a role in helping bring this all together? Because I know there are so many people on the Litecoin dev team that have been working absolutely relentlessly to get this out here.
Yeah, so the main person behind, who worked for the past 2 years on it, is David Burkett. He's a developer of Grin++. So he was working on Grin for a while, and we hired him to help. Actually, thanks to a lot of the community members who donated to our MWEB Confidential Transaction Fund, we were able to basically fund David Burkett for the past 2 years and more via community donation. So that's great. Great thanks to the community for doing that. Let's see who else. So we worked on the Litecoin improvement proposal. Initially, it was David, myself, and eCurrency Hodler. So he was great help back then to help us kind of think through a lot of the the interactions of how we would interact with MWEB, like how we would do the integration transactions, how peg-ins and peg-outs work, just trying to make it as simple as possible for the average person, right? So someone who's using Litecoin MWEB, they don't need to know about the complexity behind MWEB. All they know about is generating an MWEB address. People send coins to it. If it's pegged out, it will be pegged out automatically. Or sorry, if it's pegged in, it'll be pegged in automatically. The wallet doesn't have to, like the user doesn't have to worry about where coins are located, whether it's in the main chain or if it's an extension block, stuff like that. We try to make it as simple as possible. And then so David worked on it for a while. We had a lot of helps from our Telegram chat, people testing MWEB on testnet. I'll call out Hector, who helped a lot on the code review of MWEB. And Loshan from the Litecoin team worked a lot on the launch and release for MWEB. And lots of people helped out. There's just countless number of people that helped out with testing, with coding and code review. It's definitely a group effort.
Absolutely. And that's what I love about Litecoin. It's always been a community effort, just, people surrounding the foundation. And just the fact that, Dave Burkett has been working relentlessly for 3 years, just based off of donations, just really shows the power of the community and, what you guys are really working on. Someone in the chat even saying the simplicity of MWEB is revolutionary. And I totally agree, because like you were saying, like if I were to be sending Litecoin from the main chain to you on MWEB, all I would have to do is just send it and it would be done automatically, right? I wouldn't, there's no switching a flip, all that stuff, like sending things somewhere else and resending it from another address. It's just one person to another, just like you would regularly transacting.
Yeah, and you wouldn't need to know whether your coins came from MWEB or from the main chain. It would just work, yeah.
Absolutely. And what have you guys really been working on the past few weeks? Because I know there's been a lot going on the past few weeks with updates and fixes and things just going on with the technology itself.
Yeah, so we launched MWEB on testnet maybe like a month or two ago.
Yes.
And just to test to make sure everything works. One thing we realized is that mining pools had to do extra work to mine MWEB blocks. So because they have their own infrastructure and their own code, they don't use like this. There's no standard. Well, there is standard like mining code, but all the pools, they use their own like proprietary software. So we had to work with them individually to help them upgrade and make sure it works, to test everything. So that turned out to be more work than we expected. We thought it would be pretty simple. They would just upgrade some libraries and it would just work, but they all had their own proprietary software. Wow. So that took a bit of work, but it was good that we had time between testnet launching and mainnet launching to make sure all the kinks are worked out. And they were all successfully able to mine on testnet, and the launch went flawlessly because they already all tested and worked well. We found a lot of UI bugs, UI UX bugs on Litecoin Core. So when you send to MWEB transactions, maybe the amount or the fees is wrong in the UI, or it's not shown correctly in the transaction list. A lot of little things that we fixed over the past couple months, thanks to all the testers on the Telegram channels who help us find all these issues. And that's what the testing is for, because these issues we just weren't able to, we couldn't figure out, like test all the cases and find them ourselves. So the testers definitely helped a lot.
Absolutely. You need people to like test out in order to really see if it works. And it's something that can scale as well. So do you want to talk about like, the scalability end of Litecoin and how like this really helps that? Because I that's something I think a lot of more people need to know about.
Are you talking about the scalability of MWEB or?
Both, actually, if you could.
Of Litecoin itself and MWEB?
Yeah.
So the way MWEB scales well is that you can do aggregation of transactions. So right now with Bitcoin and Litecoin before MWEB, each transaction has an input and output, has information about that transaction. What MWEB is able to do, or with using MWEB technologies, what we can do is we can basically collate all the transactions into one big transaction. which has all the inputs on one side, all the outputs on one side. So then you know that the inputs add up to the same as the outputs, right? So no coins are created out of thin air. And by doing that, we were able to throw away a lot of extra data, right? So it's just one big transaction with inputs and outputs. And then that also helps with fungibility and privacy, because then everyone's transactions are combined into one big transaction. And then another thing we can do is we can throw away used inputs or outputs, I should say. So if an output is spent in the same block, then the input and output can just be thrown away, right? So for example, if I sent you one Litecoin and you sent Bob one Litecoin, then those two transactions can be combined to effectively I sent Bob one Litecoin. Right?
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
The fact that it went through you doesn't matter anymore because you already sent them. You already spent the coin. So in the block, the input would be one Litecoin from me. The output would be one Litecoin to Bob, right? And your inputs and outputs are just thrown away because it's not needed anymore. So that helps with scalability.
Wow, that's extremely brilliant.
Yeah, and then and obviously cross blocks. If an output is spent, you can purge that information, right? So if I sent you one Litecoin in this block, in the next block you sent one Litecoin to Bob, then they're both recorded. But then if you want to purge that unnecessary inputs and outputs, you can afterwards.
Oh, wow. And were there any, like, of course this is a huge technology, a huge change. Were there any bugs that you guys have encountered that you have conquered?
Trying to think. I mean, obviously we've ran across quite a few things. One thing that David really worked hard on was to kind of make transactions non-interactive. So what that means is the original MWEB proposal only had interactive transactions. What that means is that the sender and recipient both have to be online and they have to share information between each other. So they have to kind of communicate. So Bitcoin and Litecoin has non-interactive transactions where I can give you an address and you can send coins to it at any time in the future without me having to be online. Whereas MWEB originally didn't have that. So David proposed this concept of non-interactive transactions using MWEB. And that's something we've implemented on MWEB to make things just a lot simpler.
Yeah.
And it's much more like normal Litecoin transactions.
Yeah, that's absolutely crucial. Imagine having to do the interactive transaction. That would have to be a lot. It would just be a lot more difficult for people to use. So shout out to Dave for really figuring that out and working hard on that. How do you see, MWEB being adopted now? Like, what kind of platforms, for example, would adopt MWEB? Exchanges, maybe not, wallets, maybe. What are your thoughts?
So right now, with the initial launch, it's just Litecoin Core that supports MWEB.
Got it.
Right. So that's the reference implementation. People can look at it and add it to their own wallets and platforms. So we'll work on adding MWEB to Lite Wallet. There's definitely some hoops to jump through to make that happen because MWEB is quite different from normal Litecoin transactions. How to make that work with light wallets that don't download the whole blockchain is a problem that we need to solve, but we're working on that. I think initially I'd like to see more, or at least block explorers support MWEB. Right now, we're only seeing the main chain side of things, but we're not seeing the inputs and outputs and kernels on MWEB from block explorers. So I'd like to see block explorers support that. Obviously, more wallet support. We'll work with wallets to add MWEB support. I think that's crucial, obviously.
Yes.
Anyone being able to use MWEB on any wallet they choose, whether it's desktop, mobile,
Yes, that's crucial. I'm sure a lot. I think there are a few wallets that I heard were talking about implementing MWEB, and I think that's great. I've been using Light Wallet since it was Loaf Wallet, so
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how the wallet has actually progressed since its start and how you guys have been working on the wallet itself. For you guys that don't know, Light Wallet, you can look them up on Twitter as well. This is a native Litecoin wallet where you can store just Litecoin on it, I believe, and you can also register for your Litecoin card on there as well if you wanted to spend Litecoin in the real world with a debit card. If you can't spend Litecoin any way else, it's a really great way to spend Litecoin, and it's something that you guys have also been working on just to be able to make spending easier. And with MWEB, we're going to make a lot of things easier. Speaking of easy, do you mind picking a key phrase or word for people to enter into the live chat in order to win a Zesty Ballet wallet?
Sure. If they can spell it, the word is fungibility.
Okay, fungibility. I'm doubting myself on this one. I'm just kidding. I got it. So, guys, enter fungibility into the chat for a chance to win a Zesty free ballet wallet. I will roll in a little bit and make sure you guys get back to me with an email on Twitter. That'll be amazing. So while this is going down, Charlie, while people are entering fungibility into the chat, do you mind talking about how you feel MWEB is going to be adopted in terms of people spending it? How do you think Litecoin itself is going to be adopted over the next few years?
Yeah, so our goal is to make it easy, right? Where people don't have to worry about whether their money is on MWEB or if it's on the main chain. It should just work, right? So my vision is for wallets to support it by default, right?
Exactly.
Where the addresses are, your receiving address is an MWEB address, right? All your coins are on the MWEB side of things, and when you spend, no one can see how many coins you have, right? So that should be by default. It's going to take some time for the community, for everyone to kind of adopt MWEB, to support it first, and then to slowly move towards kind of it being by default. So we should see more and more people using MWEB. Right now, there's a tracker, the Flapning website. What is it? Flapning.com that shows how many coins are on MWEB side.
Oh, that's awesome.
So right now, let me take a look on quickly.
I think we broke the 1,000 mark.
Yeah, I think so. It's flapning.watch, and we are at 1375. Actually went up by 300 coins.
Wow.
Just today. Yeah, so it's cool, right? So it's cool to track how many coins are on MWEB. So the reason why we're able to easily track that is because we have, if you look at the Litecoin Block Explorer, the last transaction is a special transaction now. It's called the HogX integrating transaction. Mm-hmm. And what's special about that is that it basically tracks all the coins on MWEB. So it holds 1,375 coins right now. If you look at the Block Explorer, it holds all the coins on the main chain, and that represents all the coins on the MWEB side of things. And when you peg in to MWEB, there will be an input that sends that many coins to this transaction. And likewise, when you peg out from MWEB, an output will be on that transaction that sends coins to your main chain address that you peg out to. So that's a very important transaction, the last transaction of block that basically handles all the coins moving in and out of MWEB.
Wow, that's incredible. And the block times are extremely fast. So all of this happening, and how fast are the block times again? You said two and a half minutes. I didn't want to say two. I want to say 2 minutes, but it's 2.5 minutes. That's extremely fast. And when Bitcoin and Litecoin, we're still really early right now. We all have to consider this. We're still extremely early in adoption. When people start transacting with Bitcoin and Litecoin every day, the amount of transactions that are going to be, being processed on MWEB are going to be absolutely insane. We're talking about 1,300 Litecoin on MWEB right now. That's a baby number. That's a baby number.
It's tiny.
Compared to what it's going to be in the next year, right? I can't imagine how many Litecoin are going to be on MWEB by then.
Yeah, but Also, one caveat is people should be careful, right?
Yes.
There may still be bugs. Actually, I've encountered a bug where using I have a really old wallet, right? An old wallet after an upgrade, um, if you send coins to MWEB on that wallet, it doesn't show up in your wallet. So the reason is that it's a UI bug that we weren't correctly processing the private keys properly. So the funds are safe. We need to release an upgrade and update a patch to the core software to fix it so that the funds show up. But we found that after activation of MWEB. So there's definitely still bugs out there, whether it's UI bug or potentially something more serious. But we'll try to make sure we track these down and fix them before it does any real damage.
Absolutely. And what does it mean to have an old wallet exactly? Like it was like a Litecoin core that you haven't updated in a few years, or?
No, it just means I've my wallet. I've had it since 2011.
Oh, it's just like when it was activated, basically.
Oh, when Litecoin was created, basically.
Well, yeah. Wow.
So it's if you download Litecoin Core now, it will create a new wallet for you, right? So this wallet has been around since 2011. So it needed an upgrade, right?
Wow.
To support MWEB, and that the difference caused a bug that we didn't catch.
Wow. Litecoin OGs better be paying attention to this video because they gotta know what's going on. I'm gonna roll the dice here and let's see who won a Zesty Ballet wallet. Actually, this is so funny. Charlie G actually won. I know Charlie's been wanting to win for a week. So Charlie G, you have won. I know we have Charlie Lee on the show. We have Charlie G in the chat. Charlie G, congratulations, my friend. Send me your email and DM. I follow you, so it should come right through. Thank you for everyone who entered. There's so many friends in the chat. Thank you for everyone that's coming and supporting Litecoin today. Again, don't forget to smash those likes. I know Charlie is on a tight schedule today, so we are going to wrap it up in a few minutes. So thank you for everyone that's coming by. I really appreciate you guys. Charlie, so is there anything else that you feel that people need to know about MWEB right off the bat? What do we need to know, and what are we going to be looking forward to with it?
I guess what people need to know is right now, you can only do MWEB transactions using Litecoin Core. So you can download from litecoin.org. It's a desktop wallet that works on Windows, Mac, Linux. So in order to use MWEB, you can generate an MWEB address, and only people with Litecoin Core right now can send coins to that address because the address is a new type of address. It starts with LTC MWEB 1. So if you try to send to this MWEB address from a site or a wallet that doesn't support MWEB yet, it would be an unknown, unrecognized address, right? They wouldn't be able to send coins to it. So unfortunately, right now only Litecoin Core works with MWEB. So we'll, like I said before, we're working with other wallets. I know like Cake Wallet is one of the wallets that said they would support MWEB, and they're really big into like Monero and other privacy coins. So they really want to support MWEB and hope to see them supporting MWEB soon. And we're working hard to get MWEB on Light Wallet, but that's going to take some time. So it's going to be slow. But if you want to play with MWEB, download Litecoin Core.
Absolutely. And I know this is a basic question that you're probably going to giggle at me, but do you mind explaining what Litecoin Core is for people that are like completely new, not sure what we're talking about? What is Litecoin Core?
Litecoin Core is the name of the reference wallet. So it's the wallet that I'm working on, that David Burkett worked on. And so it's a desktop wallet. So just download and try it out, right? It's a wallet on your desktop that works with Litecoin and MWEB, and it's the original wallet that I worked on for Litecoin back in 2011.
Awesome. Yeah. So guys, just basically, I think where can you find Litecoin Core? Is it on litecoin.org?
Yep.
Okay.
Litecoin.org.
Okay.
Yep.
Let me just throw that into the chat.
Big button that says download Litecoin Core, I think.
Yes, there should be. Let me go double check. I just put litecoin.org into the chat. Yes, right when you go on the website, you'll see a big download button. Of course, before you download anything, make sure it says litecoin.org if you're not clicking it specifically from my live chat, just to make sure you don't download anything mischievous.
Yeah, I mean the download. There's also GPG signatures, so it's signed by Litecoin core developers, and you can download those signatures and then check the signature hash or the hash of the download against the signature. It's a little bit technical for most people, but there are instructions on how to do that.
Awesome. Yeah, this is a great spot, litecoin.org anyway, just to look at Litecoin, everything that's going on with Litecoin. There's links to the Litecoin forums, the Telegram, the Reddit. Everything is super transparent with Litecoin and what you guys have been doing. Where's the best place to keep up with Litecoin news? Would that be litecoin.org?
Good question. I was about to talk about that. So we actually launched our new Litecoin Foundation website on litecoin.net.
Yes.
So if you go to litecoin.net, it's our Litecoin Foundation website that has basically anything and everything to do with Litecoin, wallets, buy, spend, the different projects we're doing. So check it out, litecoin.net.
Yes, litecoin.net. The link is in the live chat. I'll put it in the description of the video after. There's so much, going on with Litecoin. There's this cool swag on the website too, if you guys are into swag. There's definitely a lot going on with Litecoin and how people are spending it. I know I've spent Litecoin using the Speedin app on Flexa Network. I know you're a fan of Flexa, Charlie.
Yeah, there's just lots of different places you can spend Litecoin.
Yes.
Whether it's like Speedin or whether it's merchants accepting Litecoin via BitPay or accepting Litecoin directly. Like every few days, I run across a website that accepts Litecoin. Just out of the blue, it's like, oh, that's cool, or a place where you can donate Litecoin to.
Yes, that's so awesome. It's great to accept donations in Litecoin, especially if it's something you're not going to use right at that moment. It's something that it's cool to hodl and to have. And also the Litecoin card. We can't forget about the Litecoin card. It's another great way to spend Litecoin. It's really simple, really easy. Once you get through the KYC, you're smooth sailing. But thank you for coming on, Charlie. Thank you for sharing all of your beautiful knowledge, and you've taught me a lot today, and I'm sure you're teaching so many people about MWEB, and you guys really have been working relentlessly. I know you've just been really speaking lately about your truth, and that you've been working really hard for Litecoin for 11 years. You didn't just put out Litecoin and leave. You're here, you're staying, and you've been working to add value to Litecoin. So I have so much respect for you, and I really thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You guys are the best. Thank you so much for coming. You guys are amazing. Definitely check out more about Litecoin if you haven't already. I thank everybody for coming out. I see so much Litecoin fam here. Wendell, Phil, Rebecca, Bitcoiner, Randy, Charlie G, congratulations, Blind Dave. So many people. Daddy-O, thank you guys so much for coming out. I appreciate every single one of you. Also, shout out to Bitcoiner and his faucet. If you want to claim some Litecoin, go to bitcoiner.me and check out the Zesty Litecoin faucet. It's an absolute trip. It's so fun. So guys, thank you for coming. Charlie, thank you again for joining me today. I hope to have you back soon to talk about Litecoin and everything that's going on. I know there's going to be some cool things happening with Litecoin. Hopefully we have a summit soon. So guys, stay tuned for that. If you guys do have a chance to attend a Litecoin summit in the future, I recommend it. It's a great conference, and everything with Litecoin works. It is beautiful. So stay tuned for MWEB. This is absolutely historic and is going to change the world. Thank you guys so much. And get ready for the Miss Teen Crypto song. You're going to dance. You're going to be in a good mood. Have a great day, everyone. And as always, stay zesty. Peace.
Good morning, crypto Twitter, it's Miss Teen Crypto, spreading crypto with options showing its benefits to my generation. Shout out to all my people, Gen Z needs to be included, it's really that simple. We are savage, amazed, boss, zesty, making money at the same time, spread peace. I feel empty if you